We're back downtown, and I found a beautiful tree to paint. And this is the scene that we're going to be painting. So obviously this big tree is going to be the star of the show. And I'm squinting and just noticing there is a section of dark on this side, a section of dark there, a section of dark there, and then I'm just going to blast the rest with this light pink color and then add some variety within it. Nice big blue sky, silhouette of this house. Car's going to be in there with a nice splash of light down here on the road. Let's get going. And as I normally do, I'm going to start with a wet wash here. This is just a brownish purple color. It's nothing that I really care about. It's just something I'm going to use to draw and get this composition in there. So this tree, I know I want it to come up pretty high. Something like this. It's almost centered, pretty centered. Chimney. Yeah, I got about 3 marks on there.
That's a start.
All right, we got a few marks down. Had a nice chat with someone. And okay, so chimney here, house, okay, car. Let's see. Okay, that's too big, it's too big. Let's see, this car stops here, here. Here. And let's see, things are getting a little in the wrong place. Let's see if we can firm this up so that fence stops here. I always like to give the disclaimer, whatever image you see down there, you might see some different, it might be a little different, or maybe I'm just not getting it exact, but that's life. All right, house. Okay, and that tree is going to come all the way over to here. Might take it off up there, we'll see. Something like that. The house comes through there, it drops down to a second level down here. All right. Car is a little, I don't want to, the car is just going to take a few more careful lines, and even though I'm working on it, I don't want to spend time on it right now. I want to try to get the whole feeling of this painting in, and then if time allows, suggest that car a little more. I'm going to go straight with the sky. I'm going to keep it pretty dark. It is dark, and I might even push it a little bit darker. And it's just a mixture of my 3 blues, which is Celestial, Phthalo, and Ultramarine. Celestial is pretty much a cerulean. I'm thinning this down. Just looking at getting the sky blocked in, and we'll jump to the next thing. Okay, something like that. Whoa.
Try not to mess up the shot.
Stay right there. This might be a mistake, but I'm going to leave the tree for now and block in some of this other stuff. The house, looking at that chimney, it's dark and it's brownish color. Just a little terp, thin that down a little bit. And the roof isn't too far off from that. It goes a little bit lighter and a little bit cooler as well. That doesn't really do it. Just a little bit of variety in there. And there's just some dark kind of hints of the roof popping through in a few places. And then over here, it's actually getting hit with light. So I don't want it to get out of control, but I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Might be nice, a couple of little spots of light. Yeah. But I'm just going to pop right to the house. It's a warm, it's kind of a tannish beige color, but it's in shadow, and when I squint, it's staying pretty dark. We'll go with that for now. Again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I want to try to get to that tree, but I kind of want some of that structure. So from right here to right here goes much darker. And then again on that right side, it goes lighter. It's not quite being hit by light, but it's just not under the tree as much, so it's a little lighter. And it's actually a little warmer. I just went cooler, but it's actually a little warmer. All right, we're gonna call that good, and then we're gonna do the fence. Fence is reddish color. It's not too strong in chroma, so it's not like a real strong pop of color like the tree is. Yeah, that's actually pretty dang close. There we go, painting a fence. Splash a little bit of terp in there. Just working my way down, going straight to the grass. By the way, I've been using the same brush this, not the whole time, but since we've been on the house and everything. This is kind of some grass and light. Jump over some nice grass and shadow. Pop of light over here. Those people still have their snow tires on. As do I. And I don't need snow tires on right now. And then the blast of light down low. I'm just gonna keep it super light. Always come back to it, always readdress it. But that is a pretty dang quick block in of all that. Let's take a step back and look at it. I think I'm gonna have to block in this car just with the dark bluish color that it is. Just because when I squint, it's the wrong value and it's drawing too much attention to itself. So you're just saying, I will come back to you, hopefully, if we have time. Okay, that's fine. One more supporting cast member are the trees back here, which are getting a nice pop of light on them. And then on the other side, some darker greens that are not so much in light. All right, we've done the full setup for our big tree. A little bit of the shadow patterns have shifted from when we were first looking at it. So also the only red that I have with me, I wasn't necessarily planning on painting this tree when I came out, is alizarin crimson. And so whatever varieties I can build with alizarin crimson, I do have orange. Those will be the tones that I can get. Okay, I also have a cad red light, so I'll add it to the mix just so we have a variety, even though it's not at all in the cad red family. I think that I might can use it to shift some of the tones around. Shadow tones, shadow shapes. So I'm gonna make all of this in shadow. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of with the wet mixture block that in. So actually I have a purple as well, cobalt violet deep, and that with my alizarin is coming up with something that's too dark. Let's lighten it up. I just threw a little cad red light in there. And then right here, shadow. This is alizarin crimson, some of that purple and white, titanium white, and I'm just gonna quickly suggest some light areas. Hinting at the tree branches. It's such a kind of, and at the moment, this whole painting is kind of amorphous. Nothing has any definite and solid shape. So these, maybe some of these tree branches and stuff in here will help solidify some of the confusion. I'm gonna come in here and clean up some of this white. It's showing through. When I squint, I'm trying to judge everything. I'm seeing all of these spots of white, and it's throwing everything off for me. The tree trunk at the moment is getting hit with light, and I think that would be nice, and it's pretty strong light too. Just gonna hint at some of that. Make sure that dark, that has a shadow side. Make it read. It's coming together pretty nice. I think that this is it's way more saturated. This is usually not the case. Usually we oversaturate things, but when, like in fall color or in spring, especially like with the color of a tree like this, I'm actually not saturating it enough, and it's getting a little kind of milky. So I'm gonna look at this shadow and try to get some more saturation and chroma in there. I don't know. I think I just went too dark, way too dark. I'm just gonna, when in doubt, scrape it out. Which is referencing my soccer coach from high school, in which he said, when in doubt, boot it out. I see some sky holes coming through. Nice blue sky holes. That could be nice in this shadow area. Just bouncing some of the sky holes around. I think the same thing happened with the lights, is that I lost the chroma in them. They went too light without the color that's there. I have some nice rich pinks in here, and then have some highlights on top of that. It's gonna help a lot. And there's some nice lights being right across the darks of those houses. I'm squinting. I felt like that was light on my palette, but squinting and putting it down, I realized it wasn't near light enough, even still. And maybe it will help to push some of that a little darker, just for the sake of that light popping off the front of it. These reach all the way over and off the roof to the side of the house, coming up all the way over to the chimney, and then the ones above against the light go dark. These here. Trying my best to talk, but I'm feeling the challenge of this tree, and it's taking some of my words. My shadow patterns are completely gone. But I don't want to chase it too much. What I mean by that is, as the light changes, feeling the pressure to continue changing my painting to match what I'm seeing. It's better that I pick something and stick with it. And I think I need to stick with what I had, which was this in light, this was in light here, and this is in light. And right now it's a little confusing. You can't tell. I think it's these light tones those should be the highlights, and I blocked in whole areas with that. So that was likely a mistake. Let's not say likely. That was a mistake. Get rid of some of that light that's just too strong. And reintroduce some of the darks that I've lost. And these darks reach way over off the page. And that's one of the elements of this tree that I liked. It was how wide, and it's just this really healthy, incredibly healthy tree. Get a smaller brush and hint at some of these. There's these pieces, these branches shooting up. It's a really nice kind of gesture on the outside. Squinting. All right, there's some light kind of popping in around here at the moment. And I mentioned not chasing the scene, but there's little elements there that there's variety happening, and I'm sure that it was happening earlier as well. I just hadn't gotten very far into the painting. What I don't want to do is disregard the whole entire idea of this being in light, this is in shadow. I don't want to shift all of that around. I can just remember myself when I was studying, my teacher would say something like that, don't chase the light, and then he would chase the light just a little bit, and I'd say, well, you said don't chase the light. You know, it's like it's that kind of frustration of a student. So I'm squinting, I'm seeing how dark some of this is against that sky, and I'm losing some of that. I'm going to leave the tree for a minute and look back at some areas of the house. Looking at this side it's not in light, but it's getting lighter over here. It's just a little too oversimplified back here. So I kind of want to make my way around addressing some of those things. There's a lighter value right there. Same thing happens. There's a little bit of a lighter value shooting across here. That line's getting a little lost. I'm just gonna firm it back up. I'm gonna look at some of the windows in there, which go pretty dark. There. It's a door over here, but I'm just gonna go dark with the window. And then this window over here is actually light. They're like shades. I'm tempted to just make it go dark anyways, but before I do that.
Don't touch anything, Bubba. Don't touch it.
Whoops. add a little variety in the sky here. You probably saw I just drug in some of that. Owner of the house just came out and just drug in some of the pink into the sky, and then I just used that as an excuse to come back in, work on the sky a little bit. It does have some gradation to it. Hint at that. Alright, if the owner's coming over here, we better make this thing look pretty decent. It's coming together. I think the thing I need most is to join the lights together. They are a little all over the place. Some nice lighter things that were there.
You get about 5 days of beauty, and then you get all the petals and all the apples.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome to come take a look. See if before he gets over here, if I can make this car. No, I'd at least give it a few hints and variety. It's in the wrong spot. Maybe just a highlight or two. All right. Here comes the man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, look at the window, kind of the whatever it's called around the window. That is probably too light, but let's see if I can knock that back a little bit. Just see some of this that's still this has a nice kind of bend to it. It feels a little flat. I think what that area needs is more sky holes down through there, through that shadowy area. It needs some more blue coming through. And honestly, if I wasn't shooting a video right now, if I was just painting on my own, I would probably stop at this point because the light has shifted so much. But I want to try to get a little more done just for the sake of the video, but this is probably pushing it too far into not seeing the actual scene that I started with. Another step up of light, kind of that highlight. I'm certainly not trying to draw the exact make and model of this car. So there's lighter highlights around here. Coming up, back. All of this is much lighter. These back windows go really dark. maybe dark areas in here. Tires. Oops, too light there. There's the lights up here. It's nice. Red. Some orange lights in it back here. These windows, they just kind of have some other stuff. They have some green trees from behind me kind of reflecting in them. Just hint at a few things. Pop of orange at the front. Just a couple areas that are catching my eye. And this is just too clean. I'm just taking the back of the brush. Just suggesting maybe some of that grass that comes up. Just felt a little too clean, that whole area. Thanks for watching. Felt like kind of a hectic session to me. I felt so rushed. So I'm happy to slow down. I'm going to spend another session on this, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. And if you guys are enjoying these videos, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week.